Hello and welcome. My name is Carsten Lützen. I'm an Agile coach and a Scrum Master, facilitator, whatever we call it. Today I will talk about this people are less than products, or maybe not. If you like these videos, please consider to subscribe and share. That would be awesome, to say the least. And especially with this topic, I'm hoping that some of you will pitch in, chime in with your views on this. Some time ago, I was reading a discussion on an internet forum, and some people were talking about red flags in the workspace. And one was this: we're like family in this company. That was a huge red flag to them. And what was fun was it actually made me reflect a bit, because I see a lot of the people in my workplace as family, or at least some extent or some degree of family, right? And why is it that I do that, and why is it some people see it as a red flag? It made me reflect a bit more, and I think a lot of it comes down to psychological safety. I've been part of some amazing teams, at least if you ask me, where we had this psychological safety, where we were able to talk openly and freely about whatever was going on, both professionally but also privately. That led me to the realization that I really want and I really need people to be able to bring their entire self to work and not necessarily have this professional facade up in front of them. It might be a cultural difference or a Scandinavian thing or whatnot, but to me it's super important that we can bring our entire self to work. All these little quirks, so I don't need to wear a mask at work, but I can be myself. To me, that is sustainable. So back to these teams. The teams and the teamwork is not a given. I've seen a lot of dysfunctional teams as well. And this was probably, or a lot of the times, because teamwork is not a given. So it requires a lot of effort, and probably more effort to get a team to achieve psychological safety. Much more effort than what we would expect. So the teams that I have been part of, that I still cherish deeply, where we could address everything right. We would always have our retrospective, and we would talk about the inconvenient truth, the things that actually hurt a bit, but we could do it in an open manner because we had psychological safety. And also because we didn't put product before people, we actually put people over product. And that's super important to me. People are always more important than whatever we're building. It's never the opposite. My main priority is always, how can I get happy team members? How can we have happy people in the office, in the teams? How can we get them to have this feeling of we're like family? Because when we have that, then we are on the right way to psychological safety. However, there is also a downside to this. When we're dealing with highly passionate, super driven, motivated people, they have a risk of burning out and stress, and we see that a lot these years, right? So we need to be quite aware of, when we're trying to build psychological safety, when we're trying to build teamwork and trying to get this not necessarily family feeling, but at least like we are a closely tied group of people working towards something, and we really trust each other, then we also need to be accountable and be focused on people having a sustainable pace, so not working 12 hours or 16 hours a day. And we need to start with ourselves as well, right? We need to role model this as coaches, as team members. We need to be vulnerable. We need to share our problems, right, as a role model, and then slowly get others to share what is difficult for them. In some of the teams I've been part of, we shared openly what was going on professionally and privately, and it helped the rest of us in the team, right, to realize, okay, so this person is struggling at the moment with XYZ. Let's make sure that he or she can do as little work as possible to focus on those problems. And then the rest of us will take over and do what we can. In this way, we can overcome this as a team, not as individuals, but as a team. And that is where we really see this. Some would call it family, some would call it a sports team, I don't care. But I really like to have this psychological safety, this safety in the team, that we can talk about this. Some of my best tips for doing this is, of course, having a retrospective, but also having like a team meeting where we can share how are we doing. And there is no force, there is no push to share whatever is going on in your private life. But if you want, it's completely okay and it's completely fair. Whatever you need to get off your chest, and have the other team to know this should be a safe space, right, where the Vegas rule applies. So what happens in this meeting stays in this meeting, because we need to have that trust in the team. I would also highly recommend to have some kind of formal coaching training. Doesn't necessarily need to be a certification, but some formal coaching training, so you as a facilitator can help ask better questions to people. Partner with the team, facilitate, coach them in a good, constructive manner, so they can realize how is it that we can take the next step as a team. And that is something that I, for instance, have seen tremendously value from, this better way of asking questions and really truly believing that the answers to those questions in the team are in the team themselves, not you as a facilitator. And then lastly, prioritize it. Put some effort. Do fun social activities. I know some people will call it forced fun. It doesn't need to be big. It can just be small, silly things like a simple quiz in the office or in a meeting, or a game of would you rather X or C. All these small things just helps us in the team to get to know each other more. And I would not focus on getting to know the other teams as much as our own little team. That is where the magic happens. Yes, we also need to have a relationship to other teams, but in the team, that is where we need to focus. So put effort into this, and a lot of it. I'm super curious to hear what are your views on this. We are like family, and do you also believe in people over product, or is it product over people? Because there are a lot of arguments and a lot of opinions in this space. So please, if you have comments, questions, ideas, or feedback either to this or the videos, it's more than welcome in a message or in a comment. And if you like these videos, please consider to subscribe and share. That would be awesome. Have a super awesome day.